Boo, boo. Show me numbers. It's starting recording. Come on. You can do this. I'm feeling strong about you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Honish, Andrew Labouche, Miguel Antonio Barragan. Barragan. Got to get it right. Bringing you the wonderful world of boxing. If you are new to the show, click like, subscribe. Tell your BFFs, if you're Miguel. Smash the like button. Do whatever. Share it. This show is strictly about boxing and bringing you the wonderful world of boxing. As we do each and every week, once around the horn, we'll start with Miguel. What's going on? Are you with BFFs in New Mexico or some crazy location?
Not yet. I leave this Saturday, unfortunately, right on the Valdez and fucking Shakur fight, which we'll get into later on. But literally, like around the time the main event started, I'm gonna be waiting at the airport because it's gonna be like later in the evening. So I got packing to do and whatnot. So it hasn't happened yet, and it's gonna be North Carolina, by the way. So no, not yet. But I'm in the process of getting prepped, like getting my luggage ready and all that good shit.
All right, so you're in charge. You're in charge of Fight Week. You're in charge of Fight Week. So let's just say hypothetically, I go out there to do this Saturday thing.
Yes.
So you're in charge of Fight Week. You got this.
Fair enough.
All right, fair enough. ALP.
So you're going to be on the plane when the fight is on?
Yes. I mean, I hope that the fight's over by the time, because here's the thing. The flight itself is like 10:50 something p.m. I'll try to make it late after the fight was what I was intending to do. So hopefully by that point it's over.
They have Wi-Fi on the plane.
I know, but I mean, like I usually pull it up on my laptop. I don't know if I want to whip out my laptop in the fucking plane, but I hope that somehow while I'm waiting to get boarded or something like that, the fight happens and it's over and it's like, yeah, I can put it away and everything's good. But
he'll do Fight Week. He'll kill it.
The fight will be over by then.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you'll get Fight Week. I think you'll take it all the way up to the weigh-ins. Maybe I'll come in on Friday, and I'll go to the actual fight and probably by myself. Maybe they'll seat me. I don't.
They did it last time. I'm sure they'll be like, "Hey, surprise! Here you go.
Hey, it's Lee. Here's the seat. Yeah, have fun." Whatever. We'll work it out. I'm sure it'll be fine this week. That takes us to ALP over in the Bay Area. How are you, Andrew Labouche?
Doing good.
Have you gone bowling this week? Have you bet on ponies? Anything new?
That's tomorrow. We go bowling tomorrow.
My name's Lee Honish. I am the creator of this circus we call Fight Net Radio. Go to boxingtonight.io. It is our homepage. Everything's updated. As of today, I will update the actual fight schedule all the way through May. It is what it's there for. Follow us on Facebook at Fight Net Radio and fight.net.radio. Follow at Fight Fiend Migs, Andrew Labouche, Lee Honish. We're here. We love it. We keep doing the show. Let's dive right in because I got to fly shortly. And God, I hate flying. Let's start at David Benavidez considering up to 175. So David Benavidez is considering the move up to 175. I'll start with you, Miguel. Does this sound like a desperate, I want to fight Canelo moment in his life?
Oh yeah, it's a desperate chasing kind of deal. It's pretty much what Marquez did with fucking Pacquiao and chased him in every damn weight division he was in until he finally got him at welterweight or something. We got the victory. But yeah, I mean, it's if he can talk all the smack he wants about Plant and the Charlos and whatnot, and those are other PBC guys that he's going to try to go 12 rounds with, I'm sure. So I mean, it seems like it's fights that no one's really interested in. Of course, I'm sure everybody and their moms are interested in Canelo and Benavidez. Yeah, Benavidez isn't a big name yet, but he's probably, even if he doesn't win, he's going to be a pretty big threat. I guess it'll be an entertaining fight for as long as it lasts, because he's going to go in there throwing haymakers. So yes, it does sound like he's kind of getting a little desperate, and he's like, fuck it, if it means I have to move up in weight class, I'll do it, because he is a pretty big dude, and there has been a rare occasion where he has actually missed weight at 168. So it's not out of the question that he can make 175 easily and still be equally as strong, maybe even stronger, and then more competition, of course. But anyway, yeah, it definitely it smells of desperation.
Well, that takes us to the scrapometer. Is it a scrap?
Oh yes, I think so, because it's almost like I almost feel like David Benavidez has a chip on his shoulder, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go in this fight. If it happens with him and Canelo, of course, this is just down the line because this is all hypothetical. But if it goes down, if it gets signed, and there's a potential that the fight actually happens, yes, he's gonna have that chip on his shoulder. He's gonna be like, I'm gonna prove everybody, yada yada yada, and he's gonna go in there throwing, and of course, Canelo's not gonna back down from that shit. So yeah, it's gonna measure on the scrapometer for sure.
Andrew Labouche, are you on board with the desperation of David Benavidez looking for a payday?
That sounds like a movie. The Desperation of David Benavidez.
It's great, right?
Yeah.
It is, but I think Miguel hit on it too, though. This was going to happen because he was missing weight already in his super middleweight. So the move was going to eventually come. And so I'm not surprised with Canelo. Didn't Canelo say the other day he wants to be undisputed or something? 175 sounds good to him or something.
Yeah, a little teaser, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's already poking around that he's not coming back to 168, or maybe Triple G is going to be the last fight there, because I guess he is going to fight Triple G in September, and then he'll move on to 175. Look, Benavidez getting it's simply on his record. Benavidez hasn't done anything to say that he would last 6 rounds with Canelo. This is going all off of record. He's 25-0-22, and that's where it ends. He has no legit wins that anything that compares him to Saul Alvarez. So, it's a good fight with the diehards. I don't think the casuals would come out for this fight, but they would watch it. I think people would watch it, but I would not be surprised if Benavidez doesn't do anything when he does get in the ring with Saul. He's never been groomed for this. This is jumping from 0 to 100. You don't do that. You gotta have. There's levels to this fucking sport, and Benavidez hasn't passed any of them in my opinion. I mean, hell, the guy ruined his own career with drug tests and failed weight. Waits for fights. So he hasn't even passed that discipline side of boxing. He couldn't touch Canelo.
Next story. Tevin Farmer to fight Mickey Bay to settle their grudge match. If you're wondering why I'm doing the story, I'm fascinated with Tevin Farmer. If you don't know why, it's because he has eyes like a halibut. Is it a halibut or a grouper? Which is the one with the eyes on the side of their head? Tevin Farmer, who can apparently see 360 degrees based on where his eyes roll, is fighting Mickey Bay. I'll start with you, Andrew. Did I miss some kind of war or something with Mickey Bay? Like, what is the fascination with Tevin Farmer? Like, why does this keep... And by the way, May 21st in Ghana, which is even crazier still. Yeah, right. Is he still like, he's like, I want to say he's Mayweather, or he's like, who's got Farmer? Like, how does this guy keep showing up?
I believe they're PBC. I mean, isn't
right.
PBC?
Yeah.
Good question. I don't know. I mean, I've seen his fights. I've watched. I've heard of his name. I heard his name. But damn, I don't even know. Like, I don't remember the last time he fought. I don't even know what network it was on.
Did he fight Mickey Bay? Like, did I miss this fight that was a drag-out war with the halibut? I mean, when did this occur? Like, apparently he had some kind of grudge match with a guy named Mickey Bay. It sounds like somebody we should know.
Well, no, Mickey Bay's been around. His last defeat was to Cambosos. Mickey Bay was one of those prospects that never blossomed, but I think he was under Mayweather. He's one of Mayweather. I think he came out with Mayweather in the very beginning, so he's also a Mayweather fighter that didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, he was on the other card of one of Floyd's pay-per-view cards. So yeah, I think he was associated to Floyd some way.
Yep. Yeah. So no, it would be a decent undercard fight. I mean, Tevin Farmer, he has one loss to the Diaz, but didn't he go like a year of fighting like 7 guys? I don't even hold you the number, but it was some outrageous number. They kept having him fight, And in that Diaz fight, he just looked like he got burned out. So I mean, he's taking a break.
Each fight, his eyes moved further and further away from the center of his face.
It's scary. They kept rolling behind his head. That's what it looked like, man. His eyes kept like disappearing during the fight. It was really weird.
Yeah, it looks like he had some sort of like.
How does he do that? They look like marbles rolling around in his eyes.
It was like some sort of Tourette's kind of like nervous tick or something. I don't know. It was weird. You know, kind of like Jermaine Taylor would like touch his forehead with his glove every so often, or fucking, you know, was Santa Cruz would like shake his right fist or some crap like that. Like that's what it looked like. At first, I was like, is there something going on with this dude, or is this just kind of a tick that he's got?
Crazy. How we're talking about Tevin Farmer. Let's go to our keynote story and probably our headline and the darkest day in Fight Net Radio history. Does anybody know the story before I give it? Let's bet on it. What do you think is the darkest story of the week that actually broke my heart? I start with you, Andrew Labouche. By the way, if you're playing a drinking game or you're betting along at home, place your bets. What do you think was the story that actually broke my heart when I read the press release?
Shit, I don't know. I can't.
It was a press release.
I didn't get it. Sorry.
Okay. Miguel, do you know?
Shit. Is like one of your favorite female fighters getting married or some shit?
No. You ready?
I'm ready.
MTK Global to cease operation.
Okay, yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. All right, so the original creator of MTK Global, I'm obsessed with it now. All right, so the original, like I don't even need to read the story. I'm obsessed. So the original creator of MTK Global is a guy named Keenanen, who apparently is an Irish drug lord, who apparently literally had the federal government here in the United States freeze everything, which caused all the operations to not want to play ball with MTK. So MTK said, hey, we're not doing ball with them. We haven't seen them in like literally 2 years. And so finally, the pressure was too much on MTK, including Tyson Fury, who, if you watch the press conference, goes, I don't know shit about it. Like his literal comment was, I don't know shit about that dude. I know no politics. Bob's met with him. Tommy Hearns met with him. Like everybody's met with this guy, and they all pay him hush money.
Bob gave him like $3 or $4 million.
Yes.
Yeah. There
for
was
consulting.
Yep.
Jeez.
I'm actually really sad. How will we have human trafficking in boxing anymore? Like, I mean, literally, when I read the press release, I go, "You're literally taking away my favorite joke in boxing." Like, you're literally like, I knew you guys were doing it.
Yes. Miguel, if you really go back on the tapes and listen to how he nailed it just off of their logo. He was on. It just looks mafia. Why does it look so mafia? It was the first. We hadn't even known anything about the company yet. He's seen the logo. He makes the statement, and years later, they're mafia.
I'm still alive. I can tell the tale. Hashtag MTK in the house. I'm still making the shirts. Hashtag MTK.
We're not worth it, Lee. They're like, if he doesn't, they're not going to give him credentials to Valdez and fucking Shakur. Well, he's not that big of a target. Fuck him.
I know we're on air, but Lee, those are golden nuggets, dude. Like you need to TikTok that and put the date on.
So in my day job, the girl who does my video for my day job, she goes, do you realize the crazy shit that comes out of your mouth that's right all the time? I go, yeah, it doesn't do me anything because nobody really listens. I mean, in boxing, well, this one I got right. Like that was literally the most effed up thing on the planet. And we let this go. They shipped him out to Oxnard by crate. They made him fight on all the undercards. And oh wait, shockingly, the guy who created it was a goddamn Irish drug lord. Wow, people, wow. Did you actually read any of it, Miguel?
No, bits. I mean, highlights basically, like whatever the title is. If we were able to share the screen, I think I'd be able to read it. But no, I mean, besides the fact that Tyson Fury gave him a shit ton of credit. This can a hand do it or whatever the hell, like gave him a lot of credit for. I think it was somehow putting together a brokering. I think the first Wilder fight or something like that, or the second one. I'm not sure if it was the first, the second, but basically he was all over Tyson Fury's mouth. But yeah, besides that, I mean, we suspect there was some shit going on from a while back. Like I've read articles. I mean, this is before I heard you, or I'm sorry, after I heard you, talk about MTK. But reading articles about this dude in particular, and I'm like, what? Why is Fury giving him so much credit? Like, what the hell? I didn't.
Yeah, because he doesn't want he doesn't want a goddamn horse's head in his bed with him.
On his bedroom, exactly, in his silk sheets.
So, like literally Godfather style. I mean. Yeah, we all know now.
Beyond that, no, I haven't read it. I know the dude's not exactly fucking.
Wasn't Tyson Fury doing cocaine not too long ago?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Right. It's not me just throwing it out there. They were all at a downtime or whatever. Well, this guy, now we know what the fuck he was hanging around that dude for.
Yeah, he's a connection.
It is a sad day in Fight Net Radio history.
We don't have to retire the joke. We can keep going. It doesn't have to retire.
Hashtag MTK.
Yes, hashtag MTK.
Well, I'm sure that, South Bay Mitsubishi will not go away, and whatever that drug connection is, allegedly, will probably not go away either. So,
no, who's the Beltran?
Oh yeah.
You mean he's making a comeback to ESPN now?
Hashtag MTK. It's a dark day. When I read the press release, let's move forward. And by the way, yes, if you're wondering, is that real with Lee? Yeah, it kind of is. Like, I really like the joke. I like the ongoing joke. It's probably, what do you say, Andrew, about 5 years of me making fun of MTK? I mean, fuck. How did you guys not see that train coming down the track? Let's move forward. Canelo Bivol right around the corner. They've tabbed Russell Mora, Cheetah, Moretti, and Weisfeld as judges. As we get closer to this, I get that Canelo is the best fighter of this era, and I guess that's the discussion. So I'll start with you, Miguel. It's great. You brought in the best judges, I guess. My issue is this. What really, like, Bivol doesn't seem like a challenge, even though we were there at the press conference. He's clearly a human bigger. He's going to destroy Bivol. Like, he just is. What is a challenge for Canelo? Because I don't think it's Bivol.
Well, I mean, challenge, I guess maybe you might have to be more specific on that, because even, it's going to take a while to chop down the biggest fucking tree nonetheless, right? So it's going to be a while. So I suspect that yes, even though we all anticipating Canelo winning, it's not going to be that easy. If you see his face after the Kovalev fight, his forehead was marked up from all the damn jabs that a taller Kovalev was able to connect through the entire fucking fight. So, it's not like it's going to be that easy. I'm definitely going to say it's challenging. Granted, maybe he went after for lack of a better term, the softer light heavyweight of all of them with a belt. I think maybe Joe Smith still has a belt. Never mind. But anyway, I mean, he kind of went maybe to the middle guy, right?
Joe Smith,
right? I mean, he's probably like the lesser of the three, but at just the middle one, I guess, will be Bivol. So it is challenging to some degree, enough to get him, or enough for Canelo to lose. No, but I mean, it's a challenge. It is going to be a challenge. He's going to fight a bigger dude. Yes, that's why we give Canelo as much credit as we have. Fighting guys that are fucking bigger. Granted, not their skill wise, but he still has to be able to take their punch, and he still has to be able to fuck him up with whatever punch he has. So it's not going to be that easy. Yes, we do anticipate him winning, but it's a challenge. We can't. If I can quote Bob Arum, don't sleep on Bivol.
Listen. All right. So here's my question: is it a scrap?
No, I don't think it's going to be a scrap. I don't think it's going to be that. I mean, I'm sure Bivol's going to have his moments where he's like, "Oh shit, maybe I should let my hands go," and it's going to be basically, Canelo's going to be the more active one, obviously, right? But it's not going to be a scrap. I don't think so. No.
Andrew Labouche. All right. You can give me your feelings on Bivol as we get closer to it, and I really don't think it's a fight. I think he's a big giant punching bag, but you can give me your feelings on that. But who is a real threat?
Well, right now you got to look at the guy in front of him. So Bivol, of course, is the one. Now,
He's a big dude. He's a legit, like, until you go to Miguel and I were there. He's a legit big dude.
Yeah, he's 6 foot. He's got a 72-inch reach. He's undefeated. Look, the problems that I have with Bivol going into this fight, Joe Smith was a 12-round decision. Sean Pascal was a 12-round decision. Sullivan Barrera was a 12-round decision. Or actually 12-round TKO, but still goes 12. Mm-hmm. Saul Alvarez is, the best of the sport, not just the division, not just the super middleweight division. He's the best in the entire sport. Bivol has shown that while he's fighting the B level of the 175 division, he's going 12 rounds with all of these guys. Every test they've put in front of him, he's went 12 rounds. I mean, we can clown Joe Smith all we want, but Joe Smith even has some knockout wins against some 175-pound guys that make him, he's got a better resume. Fonfara, Bernard Hopkins, Elder Alvarez. He's got some legit wins on his record also. So if Joe Smith beats Arthur Beterbiev in his next fight, Joe Smith deserves this fight with Canelo more than anyone in the two divisions, if you really break down Joe Smith's career. So he's going up against who everyone says is the hardest hitter in that division, Butterbeef. So Bivol, once again, just like Benavidez, if you tell a casual fan, just stop with their height and their record. But you can't go really any further than that, because when you start breaking down their resumes, then it's like, fuck. Then you can go, what's he done to be in the ring with Canelo? Yeah, I know. Nothing, really nothing. But he's big and he's undefeated. Come on, don't sleep on him.
Yeah.
Come watch him.
Well, at least Bivol has held on to his belt. At the very least, nothing else, because that's ultimately what that negotiating leverage is, right? That's how, Plant got his fucking fight with Canelo. It's like, hey, he was able to hang on to the IBF belt. So if Benavidez would have been able to keep his shit straight and, not lose his belt twice, once on the scale, once on a substance charge, it's like maybe he would have a little bit more leverage fighting, to get a fight with Canelo. But without the belt, he has zero leverage, on top of the fact that he hasn't done anything to earn the spot. At the very least, Bivol's got himself a belt. That means something, I guess.
Yeah.
This news just breaking in New York as we speak. Sky Nicholson, yes, I'll release her video this week, is with Jesse Vargas at the Magic Hour Rooftop Bar and Lounge. She has a boyfriend. So here's my question for the room. I'll start with you, Miguel, because you get this. Mm-hmm. Is she or is she not taking Jesse Vargas back to the room?
Jesus Christ. I'm
How does Jesse pull this off? He's really a B-level fighter. How did he become a rock star?
Well, they're both on the card. I mean, that's probably the only fucking thing. And, Jesse Vargas is trying to be a politician now, so maybe he knows a little bit more game. He can talk to chicks now. Maybe, I don't know.
Would you bang
right? Sky? Way to put me on the spot. Yeah, of course, she's a brunette. I'll take brunettes.
Yeah, all right.
But I'm sensing a little bit of jealousy here. Not so much from more so that I feel Sky is taking away your Jesse Vargas. So I think that's
She's taking my Jesse from me.
That's how I feel.
It's not her. I'm more worried about Jesse.
It's that she'll steal Jesse away from me.
Andrew Labouche.
Later.
Are they going to bed tonight?
Probably. I have no idea who you're even talking about. But let me get back to people fast. Even check this out, Miguel. We call him, you say his record 19-0 and 11. He has some power. Mm-hmm. He only has 2 knockouts in the last 5 years.
You're talking about Bivol?
Yeah, Bivol.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. Segue.
2 knockouts. Uh-huh.
So it's even that's why it's like when you really break down these guys' resumes, Canelo should easily beat Bivol.
Easily. He's a punching bag.
Yeah,
He's literally a slow-moving punching bag.
But even still, that's my point. Even punching bags take an ass whooping, right? They don't go down so easy. It's like he's gonna be there for a hot minute. And if Canelo, he didn't look fantastic besides the ending against Kovalev. Maybe he used to have those lulls in the middle of the fight where he'd have to fucking catch his breath. Maybe if Bivol can actually hold on those early rounds, right, and not get the fucking floor mopped, maybe he can come back and do something in those early rounds, and he'll be a little bit more active. And who the fuck knows? But I mean, yes, we anticipate Canelo winning and not really being that much of a challenge. Something of a challenge, of course, because he's still going to have to beat away at Bivol for as long as he could until he goes down.
You mean until Putin calls him home to fight in the war?
Almost. I mean, seriously, guys, you can almost say since they picked up his opposition, Barrera, Shilamba. I know Isaac Shilamba. He fought Kovalev too. Pascal, Smith, Castillo, Richards, and Salamov. All of these guys, those guys are at least the bottom of the top 10 on the division. He's going 12 rounds with everyone. He's absolutely going. So he's probably not that hard of a hitter either. You could also put that in Canelo's favor going into that fight.
Which takes us to our segue, thanks to Miguel. By the way, go to boxingtonight.io. That is our home. We don't have any ads. We don't have any of that horse shit. I'm not trying to get you to do a click. We will be. Don't get me wrong. The boys would like to get paid. We're more concerned with getting you good content. It's a one-of-a-kind website with a boxing feed, one of a kind, unlike anything else. So go check it out, boxingtonight.io, and at the bottom of the page, all the episodes of Fight Net Radio, the current video of Know Your Fight Person, which, yes, we still have more. We've got at least 3 more in the can. So I'm taking my time on those. But at the bottom of the page is the complete schedule, which takes me to one of my favorite stories of the week and a segue, Sergey Kovalev. Hey, the Hall of Fame is not my goal, but I'm happy if they call me up. All right. If they had a criminal wing.
Oh, jeez.
Well, he's a piece of crap. I mean, like, why do we... what delusional mindset... I'll start with you, Miguel. What delusional mindset goes through the mind of Sergey Kovalev going, yeah, I had a good career and I deserve the Hall of Fame? I mean, maybe the like they all have one, right? WBO, IBF, WB, like they've all got a Hall of Fame on some level. And then there's the Boxing Writers Hall of Fame. Like, this dude doesn't deserve to be in the discussion, in my opinion. Like, did he do something that I missed in his career?
Well, no, not really. I mean, when you said Hall of Fame, I was like, which one? Because I mean, I don't know where he was. I mean, how did the topic even come up? Did somebody even ask him this shit, or did it just? Because I'm thinking like, how is that even? I think
he's flowing it. It's that time of the year. Is
he trying to like kind of like plant the seed so people are like, oh, let's cast a vote for Mr. Kovalev because he deserves to be in the fucking Hall of Fame. I don't know whether this is. I mean, his brain must really be fucked up to think that he actually has a legitimate shot at being in the Hall of Fame one day.
Andrew, does he deserve the Hall of Fame? Well, at least the criminal wing.
He doesn't deserve the Hall of Fame, but once again, we're talking about the Boxing Hall of Fame. They seem to let in just about anyone. So I would not be surprised if down the road someday he was to get in, just on, his little run that he had with HBO. He was like a Triple G before Triple G was there, right? He was the machine.
Yeah, the light heavyweight monster, yeah.
Yeah, remember they had a nickname in there. HBO was all running him up, and it ultimately ended when he got to Andre Ward. But I mean, he has a win over Bernard Hopkins, Sean Pascal. Who else do we have in here? That might be it.
Ooh. That's about it, right?
Hopkins and Pascal. And I know that Pascal fight was a great fight though. But yeah, and then he has just a bunch of title defenses. Basically, he held down the light heavyweights for a while, and then Andre Ward went up there and stripped him.
There you go. Which takes us to yet another story that made me smile this week. Somebody made the mistake of asking Bob. Yeah, go ahead.
What about this? Doesn't it matter on where you fall on that Andre Ward first fight? Because if you're one of the guys that truly believe Kovalev beat Ward,
Okay, so I know this because of the groups we're in. Like the first fight, everybody fell on the literal Sergey Kovalev side. Like everybody after the first fight fell on the Kovalev side. Everyone. I mean, all of the social media groups fell on the Kovalev side.
If you give them that win in the Bernard Hopkins, just say like he didn't get the win, but that was a great fight. Him and Ward won. I mean, that kind of makes him a legend right there. Bernard Hopkins is probably the greatest before Andre Ward becomes the greatest of the next era. And he got to win. He was in a very close fight. I had Ward winning, but I do remember everyone was bitching about that first fight.
Oh my God. On social media, especially Facebook, it was through the roof how insane they were. And especially like, I'm not going to call out groups because we post on those groups, but I am telling you that the actual people who run those groups were like, what are you doing? I'm like, he lost the fight. At the end of the day, it's the scorecard. Like, you can do whatever you want. To quote the great Jim Rome, scoreboard is scoreboard. No matter what we think, scoreboard is scoreboard. That's the way it is. Like, you guys can argue it. Well, that's not how it is. No, technically, that's how it is. I mean, technically it is. And I watched it with one of the bigger groups who actually gave me a lot of shit for going, Andre Ward won the fight. It is what it is. Somebody this week made the mistake of asking our next guest about retirement. Joining us on the show to discuss it, and happy to take questions from the media, is Top Rank Bob. Top Rank Bob was asked, would you retire? Listen, anything's possible. I mean, there's some major fights. Listen, I don't know if I'm going to retire. I don't know if the fighters are going to retire. I don't give a fuck. Do you guys ever see, I start with you, Andrew, and Top Rank sitting here with me. Do you ever see Bob stepping down?
No, it would have happened already. So nope, he's in it until the day he doesn't wake up.
You think he's just going to drop dead one day in a room?
Davis, yeah. So he might have a little small run in the hospital where they'll be like, "Oh, he fell ill today," and then never comes out, But no,
broke his hip. Well, no, you know this. He broke his hip. Bob broke his hip.
Yeah, that's what L. Davis basically did, and then try to run the team from the hospital bed before he even passed out there.
There you go. Miguel Antonio Barragan, do you ever see Bob stopping, or is he dying in a hospital bed?
Well, I mean, he's definitely dying in a hospital bed, period. That's going to happen, of course. But as far as whether or not he'll be...
I'll be bionic. I've been alive for 200 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I kind of feel, I mean, I sense that he's going to like basically cling on for every last, like till the very, very last second. But I kind of feel like maybe towards the very end, right before he passes on, he's going to pass the torch to somebody else. So it's going to be right damn near up until the bitter end. But no, he's not going to go to a deathbed still as the, the top rank face. He's going to pass the torch on to somebody. I don't know who.
Like an ET phone home, like from the bed, he's going to hold up a finger and go,
it's going to be one of those, like, look at my will kind of last testament that this is what's going to happen. But I mean, there's no way he's gonna have to leave it as somebody, right?
He's gonna look like ET when that happens. By the way, listen, I'm not ET. Kind of you are, Bob. I mean, I love you. It was a great interview, but you kind of look like a kind of like ET, Bob. I got to be perfectly honest. Moving forward, it is there in July. Apparently, the Klitschko's will allow Usyk to fight Joshua. I know. Everybody calm down. The war in Ukraine, I'm not making light of. I think it's amazing what everybody's doing there Fight Net Radio supports Ukraine. That's not a question in this group. And I think the Klitschko brothers are literally the most badass humans on the planet. But apparently, Usyk's going to go fight. And he's going to fight Joshua. And Anthony Hearn is negotiating for the Middle East or the UK in July. So I start with you, Andrew Labouche. Any difference in the outcome, or do you have any feelings on it, or should we just put a goddamn automatic weapon back in his hand and let him go kill Russians?
It's a sad situation for Usyk. I wish he would skip on the fight because I would hate to see him. Look, he's not going to train right. He's not going to be thinking right. He's not going to train right. I don't know how he's going to be prepared. Now he might get out there and beat Joshua just on natural ability. I'm not saying he's going to lose the fight, but this is going to be a tough situation for him. He might win, but it's going to be tough because I don't think he's mentally prepared for this. He can't be. We're talking about a fucking fight when his friends are dying, his family is dying. He's got people out there he's going to be thinking about every night, trying to get in contact with. That's probably going to mess with his training schedule when he's trying to do phone schedules with whatever family's still remaining out there or friends. Dumb situation. I don't know why he's doing it. Not saying that he should be in the war. I don't know where Usyk should be. I just wish.
Well, you have to look at it objectively, like for us, right? Like if it was Red Dawn in the Bay Area, would you strap it on and go to war?
Well, of course, Lee, if our country got invaded, what the fuck? Are you serious right now?
No, I'd go to Canada. I got to be honest. I'd go to Canada.
I know. There's a lot of you. There's a lot of
No, you know what I would do. You know what I would do. I'm a goddamn nut. I would totally be into it.
No, these people invaded, man. There's nothing they could do. You get the women and children out and everyone else fights. That's it. That's all you can. Or you give up your fucking country. You don't want that, right? You got to fight.
Agree.
So,
and
it sucks.
It's amazing to me that, well, I don't know for the casual fan. So if you're listening to this or you're watching this, for the casual fan, boxing, MMA, combat sports, wrestling, it's not about the physical thing. You can train your body to that point. There is a moment inside your head where it's about the mental thing. So if you're worried about your family in the Ukraine, fuck. That's hard, Andrew. That's really hard. That is some serious shit.
And Joshua, he's got to be so humble through this whole thing, right? He can't overplay anything.
Oh, no, he look like a douchebag.
Exactly.
Like, he's fucked.
Yeah.
He's literally fucked. Like, you can't say, I'm just humble to have the fight. Thank you for Usyk to give me an opportunity to give me back my belts. But really, God willing, what's the line from Bull Durham? Just God willing, I'm here and we just have a good competitive sporting outing. Like, that's your only answer, bro. Anything that looks like a PBC answer, you are literally shitting on your career. Like, they will come back to that playlist for the rest of your adult life.
No.
Yeah. Miguel Antonio Barragan, should Usyk do it or not?
Well, I mean, no, obviously not, right? I mean, and to piggyback off of what Andrew said, it's like, who are we to say what he should or shouldn't do? Of course, is just simply our opinion. I don't think so. I mean, if he leaves his country, there might not be a country for him to go back to after the fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kind of that massive, right?
It'll just be Russian. Let's just get it right. It'll be Russian.
Just be under Russian rule or whatever.
Yeah, right.
It won't be as he knew it, to some degree, I almost feel like he's doing it sort of for the money. He's like, you know what, fuck this, let me get some funds. He probably doesn't even give a fuck about the belts. I would not be surprised if AJ actually wins because of the half-ass effort that Usyk puts
there's
into it.
no way he can train
There's
right.
no way. Yeah, he's not going to train properly.
No
He's going to have
way.
he's going to be so distracted because of the larger picture outside of the ring that he's probably just going to go in there and give up the belts. Put on a half-ass performance. Not the Usyk we know, and to some degree, I don't think even Joshua would want to win it that way. But you know what? He's going to take it anyway. So I think maybe he's just going to Usyk. I mean, is going to go into the fight, put on whatever performance he can, get a nice payday, use that money to help his country to some degree, and call it a day. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters more than the fucking belts and his undefeated record or whatever. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it goes down. AJ gets his belts back, and then let's face it, if we got ourselves a one-on-one, we're gonna have to have a tiebreaker, right? So there's gonna be a third one. Maybe at that point the country's in better condition and we can have a better Usyk. So that's just hypothetically speaking. But should he do it? Probably not. He should take what the Klitschko's are doing and fucking even Postol and Lomachenko and whatnot, and do what they have to do for their own country, because it's not going to be the same. If they let shit happen the way it's going to happen, who the hell knows if that country is going to be the same afterwards, which is more important than his fucking undefeated record. But yeah, it seems like that's what's going to end up happening. He's just going to basically give up the belts, get the payday, and then go help his country.
Which takes us to
Mike. Wait,
yeah, go ahead.
You gotta believe that his age had something to do about what this.
Of course.
This, but it's true what Miguel is saying about the money grab. He's never been a heavyweight champ. He's making heavyweight champion money now, right? Championship money now. You can't let that go. I believe he's 34, if I'm not mistaken. He might be older than that. So that's really what this is about. For a while now, we've been saying on the show, well, I hope it gets better over there. Well, I hope it gets better. We've been hoping, and the reports have been worse every time they come back. What is it going to look like in a month or two from now? Is their takeover going to be in Kyiv when he's about to step in the ring? Will Russia, are they going to be close? Like, you know how distracting this could be if this doesn't get better? It only gets worse as his fight date comes closer. There's no way this fight, it's kind of a shame that they're making him do this. It almost feels like someone's forcing him. And I'm going to blame Usyk. I'm going to say Usyk's age is making him do it, but it almost seems like there's someone else pulling this string, because I got to believe that man wants to be in the Ukraine fighting.
Which takes me to the best news of the week for Fight Net Radio, who I argue is the greatest heavyweight of all time. Vladimir Klitschko is teasing a return to the ring to beat Foreman's record. Oh, please. Oh, please.
What?
Just fight a tomato can. I literally don't care. All right, so let's talk about it. Vladimir hasn't been in the ring in what? Is it Tyson? No, it would be Anthony Joshua, right?
Yeah.
So
17, was it? 2017?
Holy shit.
I think
you're going to come back to just break a heavyweight record. After defending your country, you do it at, say, the O2 or Kiev or whatever. You would literally be carried out like the king of Rome. Like, it would be the greatest shit in boxing of all time. I start with you, Miguel. Am I wrong thinking this is, first of all, for building up the country, this is a dude who's strapped on, the Kevlar with his brother, who's the mayor or the governor. I don't know what that is. But mayor, he goes back living in Santa Monica he's married to a movie star, goes back, straps on the Kevlar, and now he's talking about, I'll do one more. Just one more. I'm going to break the Foreman record, and I'm going to be the greatest heavyweight of all time. I think that this is phenomenal in heavyweight boxing.
Look it.
You go first. You go first.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Laid, man. Listen, there's a video out there where he was talking about they've bagged 6 guys You know, they got a few the night before. If you guys are watching, the Klitschko's talk about being in war, exchanging bullets and hitting targets. There's a beast in those men. Those men are fighters.
They're real people. Those are real alpha males. Like that's a level of alpha that I don't know shit about.
As a kickboxer, one of them put a man down for good. So these guys, yeah, you know what? The fire might be burning in them again. You never know what they're dealing with out there, and at the very least, it's a great story. If it's actually Tyson fucking Fury versus Klitschko again 5 years later after a war,
crap!
That's
$100 million fight. It's no question what that does.
As we speak.
Oh my God. My dick got hard. Miguel, am I wrong thinking that would, like, wow.
I mean, if it would be something if Tyson is still in the game. If he comes back and he beats Tyson, because keep in mind he's over there, right? He's out of the picture. Right, he's out of the picture, right? I mean, maybe he could have done it when he first fought Tyson. You know, that Tyson probably would have fucking lost to Klitschko. I don't know about this current incarnation of Tyson, but nonetheless, like he's out there doing his thing for his fucking country and everything else that you mentioned, right? All of his other credentials. He's married to a fucking superstar, a movie star. He's got a PhD in S, et cetera, et cetera. And on his fucking free time, he comes over and wins the heavyweight championship. You know, it's like, holy shit, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, what the hell? If he can do it, because him coming back and making the attempt is very admirable, but is he going to actually do it? I mean, it would be something fucking crazy if he does do it and it's against Tyson. Because when he does come back, I mean, I don't know how old he is now, but to beat what is it, to beat Foreman, he'd have to be 45 or 46, older than 45, I guess. Right, so I don't know what his age is now or when he'll turn 45. But if Tyson is still in the game at that point, holy shit, that $100 million fucking fight, do it in Germany, a rematch where they had their first fight, I think it was in Germany, I think it was, or maybe it was the UK, I don't recall. But anyway, but it was over there in Europe, right? So. Or Western Europe, whatever. And so yeah, that'd be fucking awesome if he can do it. But again, we are talking about the current incarnation of fucking Tyson, which is the man. If Tyson by that point is gone, and we're talking about another dude in the picture, you know, it'll still mean something, of course, because he would have won the title at an older age than Foreman if he actually accomplishes that. But it would just be that crazy, like, top notch. You can't surpass this if he does it against Tyson.
Well, I'll argue the Klitschkos are the greatest humans on the planet. But that's just me. Which takes us to our co-feature tonight, which is, and I'm looking at it right now from Frank Warren, 94,000 human beings jammed into a stadium to watch the Gypsy King retire. It took him literally 6 rounds and about 3 minutes to throw an uppercut. So there's a couple of backstories if you don't know or didn't watch the fight. And if you didn't, what are you doing as a fight fan? It was literally the uppercut from hell that caught him on the side of the head. I think it caught him literally on the jaw and the side of the head that knocked him out. We're not going to discuss the undercard because there was nothing to discuss.
Yeah.
So this uppercut catches him. And then he does something really crazy, which is just push him back. To which Dillian White responded, that was illegal. Dude, you were out on your feet. I think it was very kind of him to just end the whole thing right there. Holy crap. What a punch. I think Dillian trained. I think he tried. I think he had a moment. I think between switching southpaw to traditional, I think he had a game plan. And then the Gypsy King, who is literally the alpha male of alpha males, showed up. I'll start with you, Andrew. It was great. That's a great knockout.
Yeah, that was a great performance by Fury. Fury's clearly on top of his game still right now. He's outclassed, I think, every big opponent they've put him in since Klitschko. So yeah, the conversation can at least start with where does he drop on an all-time list, heavyweight list? Because of his size, I agree with Tyson. 6'9", the body frame, it's very hard seeing a smaller heavyweight being able to handle this guy. He would have to have been a big heavyweight, I think, to go 12 rounds with Fury. He's just what did he say, 370?
Yeah.
6'9", some shit like that. He's fucking enormous.
He's huge.
Feet. He's got a beautiful jab right hand, power in both hands.
Defense.
That uppercut was pretty spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't seen that move out of him, but that's a great polished move. And the way it caught him on the chin all the way up to the side of the head, like you're breaking all the shit up the side of his head.
I do agree with, now listen, I'm not saying they should disqualify him or anything. I don't know how you handle that. Maybe they handled it right. You just act like you didn't see it, but he does shove him. I wish he would have let him fall. Remember when Ali hits George Foreman with that right hand?
And then walk away.
Yeah, he puts his hands up and does a dance around him and lets him go down on his own. Knew it was going to happen. You don't got to rush it, man. That uppercut lands. Tyson should have known the dude was going down. You don't rush it. Lennox Lewis got away with it twice in his career. He did it to Michael Grant in one of the biggest heavyweight fights we had ever seen at that time. Both men, I think, were over 6'7", getting into the ring, and it was supposed to be this both undefeated. Mary Lewis had one, Michael Grant's undefeated. It was supposed to be a big fight, and Lewis kind of ruined it, man. He pulls Grant's head down, throws an uppercut, knocks the kid out. And it was like, all right, you knocked him out, but it was hella cheating how you did it, And then with the Tyson, he kind of did the same thing to Tyson when he held his head down, even though he's beating Tyson's ass. It's like did you? And Fury I had the same feeling. I was going for Fury. I wanted Fury to win the fight and all, but it was just like, really, did you have to shove him? Because I agree, he threw him down kind of hard. I don't know how bad his head hit the back of that. His back of his head hit the canvas. I mean, did anyone even do a replay to check to see if Dillian White's head hit? So that kind of sucked, but the performance was great for Tyson Fury. No need for a rematch. It just I wish you would have let it come naturally.
Miguel, what did you see in that heavyweight encounter?
Well, I saw a one-sided schooling. He basically took White to school, which we knew was going to happen, right? I mean, we all anticipated this was going to happen.
Dillian was getting a payday.
Yeah, he was getting a payday.
His body looked like he was going for a payday. I think the cool little southpaw traditional.
Yeah,
that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
You're cute.
I got to give him credit. That was kind of clever. At first, I was like, oh, wait a second. I mean, it even took Timothy Bradley for a fucking ride for a second. He's like, oh, whoa, what the hell? And he just like, what the hell? Relax, bro, relax. He just switched southpaw. There's nothing big. Relax. So he made kind of a big stink about it, but I mean, it was a one-sided ass whooping, right? Which we knew was going to happen. We understood that White didn't really have that good of a chance against him, and negotiated for the biggest payday he probably could, because this is probably it for him as well. In his 30s as well, so I'm sure he's not at the door. Even though I think I saw an article talking about him saying I'm not done, yada yada. He probably is. Anyway, so yes, that shove at the end did kind of taint it a little bit. Not that much, I don't think, because yes, he would have gone down anyway. It was the punch that sent him down, or that he was going to be on the way down because of the punch, not necessarily the shove. I believe, I want to say even Bernard Hopkins did this when he knocked out Trinidad. He did the same thing, landed that fucking like right hook, and then slowly shoved him away. Although it wasn't as blatant, it was still a shove, but nonetheless, Trinidad was going down anyway. It certainly would have been more dramatic if he didn't shove him, because if I'm not mistaken, that's what Ali said. When Ali dropped Foreman, he said, I could have thrown one more punch, but I wanted him to go down like that because it would have been more dramatic. And it was, exactly. So I certainly would have hoped or would have liked that push up not to happen, because when I saw that, I was like, what the fuck, did he shove him? But he fell, and then he was like trying to get back up, and I'm like, oh wow, he was really a lot more hurt than I realized. And a couple of times earlier in the fight, I noticed that White was ducking into that, and I was like, oh shit, if Fury saw that fight with White and fucking Povetkin, Alexander Povetkin, which is that's exact uppercut that knocked out fucking White. It was with the left hand with Povetkin. I was like, man, he can land that. He's taller. It's easier to land uppercuts on shorter opponents. So it's like, fuck yeah, he's gonna do it. I didn't think. I mean, I was gonna text you guys. I legitimately was gonna text you guys that shit, but I wish I had, of course, so I can be like, fuck, I told you. But he didn't end up. I totally ended up doing it, but nonetheless, yeah, it was a fucking gorgeous uppercut. It was clean as hell. He did, and you know what? I don't think he threw an uppercut the whole fight. Like
he didn't.
White
He
was
didn't. I've rewatched it 3 times, and the remarkable part, I'll keep saying it. How did you hit the chin and the brain above the ear with one punch? I mean, you literally like grabbed every part of the body that puts you down with one punch. Like, it's such a good punch.
It was, and it was like, when you get hit on the button, right? They say that right on the button, like you hit on the chin. He did that because White has sort of had his face turned to the right slightly, but it was an uppercut and it landed right on the fucking button, and you can see like as soon as it landed, it jolted White, and even with that little shove, I mean the shove wasn't necessary. It did kind of taint it a little bit. It's like, man, it would have been great if he would have just cracked him with that uppercut and just fucking let White fall like a damn tree.
It would have been the Rocky
down.
Balboa, Rocky 3
dude,
face
for real.
first.
It would have been magnificent, but he shoved him fat backwards, whatever. And yeah, it seemed as though no one gave a fuck because it was pretty irrelevant, really. I mean, he was going to go down anyway. It wasn't really like the shove was necessarily, the thing that actually brought him down was the punch, of course. But, it certainly would have been nice. And if this is it for Fury, it would it does kind of taint it a little bit to see like, oh, this is the last knockout he got over this dude, kind of journeyman, and he did it with a half shove after the uppercut. He didn't need to do that. It kind of, he fucked it up for himself, so to speak. But it was in the larger scope of things, it really wasn't that relevant, really.
Strangely, it'll allow Dillian White to save face on some level and probably get 1 or 2 more fights.
I was going to say, the shove, it was the shove. That's what it was. It wasn't the uppercut.
Yeah, strangely. Which led to 2 sequences after the fight, Andrew. Let's go with the first one. Go ahead.
And fucking Chris Arreola are still getting heavyweight fights out there, and Luis Ortiz. Dillian White better not go anywhere. He only has like 3 losses. So... No, they bring him back, let him fight Ruiz, Wilder, any of those guys. He could still fight all those guys and make some good money. So, no, I don't want to see him retire. Tyson Fury's not retiring.
I do. I do. He sucks.
No, you don't think Tyson's calling it a day, no?
No, man.
Well, let's take to the 2 events that occurred after the fight. Because apparently Tyson had literally an agenda after the fight. So let's go through the agenda. The first thing after the agenda, here's your goddamn belt, Suleiman. I'm done. All right, let's start right there. Andrew, you okay with him tossing the WBC?
Yeah, even though I think it's bullshit because later that night he went right back to being Tyson Fury and started calling Eddie Hearn, I guess, all night.
Yeah, of course. Miguel, you think he's okay with dropping the strap? Wait, who was it? Who was it that did it last? Riddick Bowe or?
Oh yeah, when he threw it in the trash in the garbage can.
Yeah.
I mean, he won't go that far. He won't do that. Here's a wrestling joke. He won't do that Medusa.
Well, because it's about Chisora, right? So this is like technically the next guy up is Chisora.
Really? He's the next guy up?
Yeah, technically that seems to be all the buzz on media and everything. Like, fucking Derek Chisora, really? Like, that's the next guy up. Like,
is he gonna get butt fucked for the next 2 years and be mandatory for the next 2 years until finally someone gives him a crack? Because I mean, Jesus Christ, really? We can't do anything better than Chisora? I mean, WBC, what the fuck? What kind of rankings are those?
Right. So, do you blame him for dropping the strap in the trap? Yes. And by the way, for you who did not catch that, the Medusa joke is great. I caught that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. For those
oh my God,
you'll get it.
It was great.
Yes. But I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, we know how fucking, and then, he got himself his commemorative Union Jack belt that doesn't mean jack shit anyway. So it's just,
I'm sure he's with no arms
and no legs or something. Yeah.
No legs. Here you go. Have the Union Jack belt.
Yeah, here's a belt you can't put on yourself. Let's have someone put it on for him. Isn't this nice? But yeah, I mean, it would be nice because let's be realistic with some of the sanctioning bodies that are fucking. For what we all know, there are too many of them. On top of the fact that there are multiple champs in the same weight divisions for the same sanctioning belts and super champs and regular champs and silver champs and all that shit. So we want this to end, right? So if the only way it's gonna end is if these fighters don't give them any fucking credence, don't even give them any fucking credit for these belts, be like, fuck your belt. If you're gonna win, if I'm gonna win the championship somehow and I'm winning the belt, fuck your sanctioning fee. Here's your belt back. I just got the win on my record. That's all that fucking matters. You can take your goddamn belt back. People know who the real man in the weight division is. ASAP. Call it a day. That would be crazy if fighters can fucking do that, but of course they won't, right? There's a lot of prestige that comes with these belts and a lot of other corrupt shit, I'm sure. But nonetheless, it was kind of cool. Yeah, it's gonna the whole Riddick Bowe thing was kind of whack because we knew he was trying to avoid Lennox Lewis because of his amateur loss to Lewis years earlier. So that kind of made sense, right? It's not really a political statement per se. I think this is a little bit different with Fury. If he's throwing that shit in the trash, be like, fuck this, even though he probably picked it out of the trash later on, of course. But still, that sort of means something coming from like the number one dude, like the top of the mountain, the baddest motherfucker on the planet. It's kind of cool seeing that. I would hope that other fighters had those kind of balls to be able to do that. Granted, they won't have the same kind of paydays that he has, so clearly they probably can't do that, but it would be cool if they could.
Which takes us to the insane second part of what occurred that afternoon, if you're on the West Coast. He brought Francis Ngannou down and announced his next fight as an amateur. Joining us on the show, yes, I know, you're all excited. Calm down. Top Rank Bob. Bob, can you talk about this, whatever Francis Ngannou? Listen, this UFC guy, assuming he's able to fight, I don't know, ACL, MCL, PCL, TCL, whatever. It'll do monumental business. They know each other. They know how much money's to be made from the fight. I think Fury, the UFC, former champion, and Dana Fuckwhite, they do bigger business than Mayweather, McGregor. I mean, like, really wrap your brain around this. And we're going to find out who the baddest motherfucker on the planet is. Wow. You guys just literally jumped from lineal WBC to, yeah, I'm going to fight Francis Ngannou, who's got an ACL, MCL, and Bob's all in. Like, Bob's all in. I start with you, Andrew. They're going to fight with MMA gloves in a hybrid fight. Are you interested?
I don't. What? No. I don't know. You have to tell me what the rules are. Can Ngannou, can he take him down? If he can't take him down, it's pointless. I don't want to see it. Especially if he's just in. Yeah, I don't know, man. These boxers, if it's just a boxing match, this is dumb. I don't really get it. Listen. Tyson Fury, we need to stop giving these guys fucking donation checks. And I guess these professional fighters, not me. These guys need to stop giving these MMA. The dude barely made $600,000 in his last fight. Tyson Fury made $36 fucking million Saturday night. Why are you fucking with this guy? How much money could he really be bringing to Tyson? McGregor was on a whole nother level. McGregor was already making $1 million with Dana White. When he came to Floyd Mayweather, he was already getting percentages of his pay-per-view. He was already the man. This dude's not even making $1 million, and you want to break half with him? For what? It's stupid. The fight is pointless unless the UFC is going to give Tyson Fury $50 million fucking dollars to step into the octagon. Then a percentage of the pay-per-view. But let's start with a $50 million here. Come to the fucking cage. If you guys aren't talking about that, shut up.
Miguel Antonio Barragan.
And
by the way, I want to add for the record, as crazy as this whole fight sequence sounds, Francis Ngannou this week, towards the end of the week, on a podcast said, "Do I think I can knock him out? Yeah. Is it hard? Yeah. Well, yeah, bro. Yeah."
Hey, Lee and Miguel, they have 50 million, right? Am I making
plenty.
a
tenfold? Yeah.
Oh no, they've already said point blank. Francis Ngannou will make more in this one fight than his entire career with the UFC.
That's because he's coming to boxing. That has nothing to do with him. He sucks. He doesn't even make $1 million in his own sport. Fuck him. They don't pay to watch you. Who's paying to watch you when you can't even make $1 million? Don't come here with that bullshit. Give us 50 million and Tyson Fury will go to the fucking cage. Then we'll take a percentage of the pay-per-view. Thank you. Why can't this deal get done? These guys are billionaires, I thought.
Miguel.
Yeah, they definitely are billionaires, and they definitely have 50 million, fivefold or tenfold. I'm sure they got it. So it's just agreed. You know, I mean, I don't even think it's the fact that that what's his name, fucking Ngannou himself can't make $1 million. I'm sure he can. It's just never gonna fucking happen because the UFC, you know, is greedy as shit. There was a potential with him and John Jones, and yes, most of the interest was gonna come from John Jones anyway. But that would have been worth that kind of payday, you know, at least UFC type of payday. But as far as this fight with fucking Tyson, it's I would have to see the rules because I don't get.
They're talking hybrid. They're talking a legit hybrid, and I don't know what that means.
Right. That's kind of the point. Like if I mean, I'm sure they're going to allow what's his name, Ngannou to throw kicks, probably not elbows. You know, everything else. You know, in MMA, the shoulder bump to your chin is legal. You know what I'm saying? That's just not done in fucking legal in boxing. So I'm sure there's going to be some sort of advantage that's going to go to fucking Ngannou. I don't think it has to do with the ground, to be honest. I don't think it's going to happen there. But you know, if it's not the standard rules that we know of, or the close to the unified rules of mixed martial arts that we know now, it's kind of pointless. It really is pointless because it's just basically if they're going to allow Ngannou to kick,
it's
which
an
they probably
execution
will,
of Ngannou.
It's going to be, you know, a kickboxing versus boxing. It's pretty much going to be that with MMA gloves. That's what's going to be. It's going to be that kind of hybrid. Like, it's not even going to be a mixed martial artist being able to perform at his fucking best because, you know, and keep in mind, not that Ngannou is that great of a wrestler or a grappler anyway. He's got more experience than Tyson just because he's a mixed martial artist, but it's not like his strong point is his grappling, because it isn't. Although, again, we did see him in his last fight get several takedowns and control the fight on the ground, but because he fought another kickboxer pretty much. So nonetheless, if there aren't any takedowns or submissions allowed, which is kind of like the standard in MMA, it is kind of pointless. It's just going to basically, because I mean, let's be real, you can learn. I mean, it's not going to be easy for Tyson necessarily, but you know, you can learn how to check kicks. Yeah, that shit hurts, but you can learn how to check kicks. If you can learn how to check kicks, which isn't the easiest, I'm not going to say
just pull the leg,
just pull the fucking leg. You just, you know, turn the knee out and you got it. Other than that, it's basically a boxing fight. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see many advantages towards Ngannou there, unless Ngannou wants to start throwing high kicks or some shit, which I don't even know if he can. But nonetheless, if there aren't takedowns or submissions or some sort of ground grappling involved, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, completely. All right, let's move forward this weekend. Yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
They know why the UFC hasn't went after a heavyweight champ, like with the legit offer that's on the web where it says Dana offers 50 plus pay-per-view percentage. Why haven't they done it?
No, it's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see it. You know, we all want to see it at this point. It's just like it's been going. We've been beating around the bush for the longest fucking time at this point, and it's like I mean, I'm sure they don't want to have to fork up the cash for it. You know, I'm sure they want to have some sort of co-promotion or something along those lines, which the UFC doesn't do in general. But nonetheless, I'm sure they don't want to come out completely out of pocket out of it, because, you know, keep in mind the the what is it, the payment format, or the payment, what is the word I'm looking for, it's different for boxing and MMA, right? It basically, the UFC payroll is the whole fucking, the fighters pay, and over here in boxing, it's so tickets, it's pay-per-views, it's the networks, it's a bunch of other shit, right? That's different than the majority of the mixed martial arts fighters. So for them to fork up that amount of money for one fight, I don't know if they're willing to do that. I mean, well, obviously they're not, because that hasn't already fucking happened, but I just think they don't want to payroll the whole fucking thing. Honestly, what the hell.
There you go. So that moves us forward. By the way, go to boxingtonight.io, get your schedule, get your news. Everything's up to date. We've got a packed fight weekend. Let's start with Jesse Vargas making his, well, at least in my opinion, long-awaited return to the ring against Liam Beefy Smith. Miguel, is it a scrap?
Beefy brings it. He fucking brings it. So I don't know. I'm not sure where Vargas is physically. I think it was him that got sick, right? They got COVID or something when the fight was postponed. Yeah. So I mean, how healthy is he? From that, on top of the fact that he's been out of the ring for some time already, so it might not go very well for fucking Vargas, as much as we love him. I don't think it's gonna go very well. And Beefy comes to bring it. He fucking brings it every single time. So it might not be a long night, or maybe a long night, an ass whooping for Vargas. I don't know. I mean, I want to say yes, because when Vargas has to, he plants his feet and he exchanges. But man, I don't think it's going to be that good of a scrap. I don't think so. No.
All right, Andrew Labouche.
I thought he was a politician. Now, is he running for office in Nevada? Which one is it? I mean, with that, he got sick. He then announced he was running for office. Now he's back into the fight game. I guess the politician.
And now he's sleeping with Sky Nicholson. I don't know what to do with him.
Oh, jeez.
Allegedly. I don't have
allegedly
in him or this fight. This is a B rated fight, and Smith and Vargas, they make no noise in their division.
There you go. All right, moving forward on this big fight weekend, the fight I'm most excited about. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. Miguel, Scrapometer, the WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF unified lightweight title for the women. Probably the most money they'll make without taking their clothes off. Who do you like in the fight?
Well, the favorite is Serrano. I'm gonna have to go with her. And it's not. I kind of thought about it for a hot minute, because I know she's been up and down weight several times already, and she's if I'm not mistaken, she's naturally the smaller fighter. I think the more natural lightweight is Taylor. So I would have thought that Taylor would be the fucking favorite, but apparently Serrano's coming in as the favorite. And after some thinking, I'm like, what? I think Serrano's got. I think Taylor had, I forgot what fight it was, but one of her recent fights, she didn't look very, very good, even though she ended up whooping the girl's ass. I think of the rematch, if I'm mistaken. But there was a couple of times where she didn't look that great, and I was like, oh shit, you know what? Serrano can take advantage of that, because I don't think I've ever seen Serrano hurt. I've never seen her get in trouble like that. I've never seen that. So I'm not sure how she would even react if Taylor is able to do that to her. But the fact that I've never seen her that way, I'm like, man, I can't even picture how she would look hurt. I don't think Katie's going to be able to hurt her. I don't know if it's going to be a scrap per se. I mean, I'm not leaning towards that, but I do think that Serrano's going to come away with a win.
Andrew Labouche.
I just hope both ladies show up and give us a fight that they've been
topless,
pumping this thing up to be.
Topless or bottomless? If you had your choice, would you rather have topless or bottomless? Tough one, right?
Yeah.
Are you an ass man or a boob man? And by the way, think carefully. Your friends will report back.
No, hear that they just fight. They got to put in a fight, because this thing has really been blown up as the biggest female fight ever.
Yeah, without a doubt. I have not been this excited about a female fight forever. I mean, literally, this is all the hype. I mean, the only thing you could do is maybe have, joining us on the show. Hey.
Yeah, no.
Clarissa.
In all honesty, the biggest fight I think in women's boxing never happened. That was Lucia Riker versus Christy Martin. Everyone everybody in the boxing world wanted to see this fight. Christy Martin was a Tyson of that era. Lucia Riker is just a tear. She's coming up. She looks like the girl to beat her. These two never fought. Well, they fought years later, I think, but they didn't fight when it was ready. So Serrano, Katie Taylor, is that her name? Yeah, Katie Taylor.
Yeah.
They are not
the hot one. Wait, by the way, the hot one.
They're not Lucia Riker versus Christy Martin. So I mean, they pumped this thing up. These ladies just need to show up and they got to fight.
Yeah. Wait a second. The hot one. Taylor's the hot one. What are you talking about?
You're taking. Okay.
You best believe I'm taking the Latina. Come on now. And by the way, I'm an ass guy, so I would prefer they be bottomless. Maybe thongs, but bottomless. Yes.
Really?
For the record, yes.
I would rather have topless. I gotta be honest. I think I'm a boob guy.
Boobs are overrated. They're nice and all, but
what?
It's the ass thing. Because they can always get fake titties. It's just like
Where's the more fun of this moment? Watching Andrew stay completely away from this moment.
just hearing the tone of his voice with answering that question, like.
By the way, if you're one of Andrew's friends, feel free to text at this moment. All right, which takes us to the biggest fight of the weekend. Let's talk about it, and we'll give our predictions for you. Yes, you guessed it. Nico Ali is fighting Alejandro Ibarra for 4 rounds. No. Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez, Las Vegas, MGM Grand, Saturday night. Hot, sweaty, and ready to go for the WBC Junior Lightweight Interim something. Who the fuck cares? Because nobody seems to respect the belt. But Shakur Stevenson, don't sleep on Oscar Valdez. Sure, we're going to drug his water. Sure, he's probably going to go down at some point. Sure, he's probably going to start bleeding on the way to the ring. Just don't worry about that. This is the biggest fight in whatever weight history. Lightweight, whatever.
Junior lightweight.
In junior lightweight at that. No shit. All right. And Miguel will be there this week and go grab some clips and have a great time. I will probably drag my ass out there at the end of the week and probably go to the fight and probably go see the fight.
Enjoy yourself and probably enjoy yourself.
Oh, well, that's a given. Who doesn't enjoy Vegas on a Saturday? I start with you, Andrew Labouche. Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez, predictions. We are on a roll on this show.
Prediction, it's hard. I don't know where to land on this fight. These are two guys in their prime. Even though Valdez is the more experienced fighter, he has a lot more he has bigger fights than Stevenson. This is really Stevenson's first fight under the big lights. The Jamal Herring fight does not add up to this, where Valdez fought Scott Quigg in a hostile environment. He fought Miguel Berchelt in one of the biggest showdowns Mexico could put together. And so I like Valdez in this fight. I like the experience. I like the power, the pressure. That being said, Shakur Stevenson's one of the best boxers, right? And sometimes skills pay the bills, they say in this sport. So he has that on to be able to try to outpoint Valdez. But I'm leaning towards the pressure of Valdez getting to Stevenson late and him being able to pull out a victory. Either way, this is an excellent fight. We have to tell people to watch this. This is going to be on ESPN and ESPN.
Yep.
So it's going to be free. We got to get out there. We got to tell these type of fights is what draws people back to the sport. Both of these guys are young. Hopefully they give us a hell of a performance. Now the Katie Taylor Serrano, that's on DAZN, correct?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, that one's on DAZN. Yeah.
All right. So that's
along with Jesse Vargas. Don't forget Jesse Vargas.
Fuck Jesse Vargas. I'm just kidding. Nothing around.
I want to believe that he's got Sky Nicholson up in the V shape right as we speak. What a savage.
So
while the boyfriend's watching like a cuck in the corner.
Fucking filming.
I was trying to do PG shows. I've really, literally been trying to do PG shows.
We failed.
I couldn't. Yeah, we failed. Jesse. All right. I turn it over to you, Miguel. Wait. Joining us on the show once again, Top Rank Bob, to give Miguel Antonio Barragan some. Listen, Manuel, don't sleep on Valdez when you give your fucking scrap-o-meter. People listen to that shit. I want them to watch the fight. Don't sleep on Valdez. Got it? He's great. Now, with that said, go ahead.
Well, thank you, Bob, for the disclaimer.
Why does he never get your name right?
It's a shtick. Pretty much at this point. But okay, so this one, I too have gone back and forth on it. It's a tough one because, of course, I am gonna root for Oscar Valdez, so I'm gonna try my damnedest to not be biased when I'm scoring this motherfucker, because you best believe I'm gonna pull out the notepad and fucking score it myself. So I'm gonna do my damnedest to not be biased. Which for the most part I'm pretty good at. I'm doing, when I score fights. I mean, just watching me and Lee, having gone to Berchelt and Nakatila, we were like, what the fuck, Berchelt's fucking losing. As much as I wanted Berchelt to win, he was losing the round, so I have to be biased as fuck. So, or unbiased, sorry. I have to think that in these kinds of fights, and we've seen it before, whenever a kind of like a come forward type of power puncher fights a good slick boxer, 9 times out of 10 the slick boxer wins. Yes, he gets hit, yes, he doesn't come out of there unscathed, but as long as he stays on his feet and doesn't get caught, he's fine. I have to assume that's most likely what's gonna happen here. On top of the fact that that fucking Shakur is a southpaw, so he's a slick boxer, right? We saw he kind of cranked it up another notch when he fought against what's his name, Herring, Jamel Herring. So he turned it up a little bit more there, and I was like, oh shit, okay, this is a little bit of a different fucking Shakur that we've seen before. We haven't seen this kind of Shakur before. He turned it up for that fight, and it was up to this point the biggest fight in his fucking career, fighting somebody like that, and that's kind of a big deal, So he turned up, and when the lights shined the brightest at that point in his career, he shined. I have to assume he's going to do the same, as long as he doesn't get hit with that fucking left, because Valdez has got the pop. We know he's got the pop, right? He's not as technically savvy or technically with fundamental as Shakur is, but he's going to come forward. I have to assume that Shakur, at least at the very beginning, is going to be moving backwards until he starts to get a little bit more of Valdez respect. Then they're going to meet in the center of the ring. Then we're going to have our fucking scrap. But Shakur has to be extremely careful, because I don't think he's fought somebody with the kind of power that Valdez brings to the table. Even though Valdez is a shorter dude, and he too has come up from like 126 and whatnot. So he's the if I'm not mistaken, I think Valdez has had more time at 130. I think he's developed the power there well enough, and he's been through some tough ass scraps himself, Valdez. I mean, that he's not just gonna go down easy. He's gonna be there at like Shakur better pack his lunch, because he's gonna be be there. Valdez going to be there every second until the fight ends, whether it be the 12 rounds or whether it be 7 rounds or whatever. I think in the end, it's going to be Shakur that's going to come away with the victory, because of his slick boxing. He's going to be able to get out of the way of that left hook enough times to basically come out relatively unscathed. But it's going to be a good fight. This is one of the fights that we've anticipated that was going to happen. It's going to be on the scrap-o-meter. It measures on the scrap-o-meter. It registers on the scrap-o-meter. I mean, we're talking about 2 undefeated fighters at the prime of their careers, or at least close to it. Both undefeated champs. This is kind of a big deal. And this is the kind of fight that happens when the stars align or the planets align. So I would highly recommend everybody, if I can, just tune in to watch it, because you're going to be treated as some entertainment and professional prize fighting at the highest level. Ultimately, I do think Shakur is going to come away with the victory, though.
And the moment in the show you guys have all waited for, because my record is astonishingly
good. Oh, here we go. Yes.
All right. Well, let's start with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano is the favorite at about plus 150-ish. And Katie Taylor is, I'm sorry, Amanda Serrano is minus 140-ish. Katie Taylor's plus 115. It really is a pick'em on that first fight. I don't know if I'd parlay those girls. I really don't know with women. Like, I don't know, you're on your period. I don't know. Like, you had a bad night, you had a plug-in. I'm going to take Katie Taylor in that fight, but I'm not going to parlay. Jesse Vargas, Liam Smith. Jesse Vargas is a 2-1 favorite. You are literally a effing fool if you don't think Jesse Vargas is winning that fight, period. Which takes us to our main event of the evening. The odds, as they stand, Shakur Stevenson is a minus 800.
God damn. What in the hell? Where's the respect?
Oscar Valdez is plus 500. I'm going to call it right now, Andrew. I've never done this on the show. I am picking the goddamn upset. I've never picked an upset. I'm happy to take my loss. I am telling you guys right now, Shakur Stevenson has never been in this situation with somebody who can hit like this. I am telling you guys all right now, Oscar Valdez by the win. I would take probably the decision, which would probably even give me 6 or 7 to 1. That's how I'd bet it in Vegas. I'm going out on a limb. I have never done it on this show. I always take the safe bets. I am telling you, I just got a bad feeling about Shakur. Like, I think he's looking at the bigger paydays. I don't think he's looking at the fight. I'm just done with what? Yeah, Bob, I'm telling you. Like, your dude is not looking at Oscar Valdez. He's looking at whatever else is in the lightweight division. Like, there's no money in this division. He's looking at the lightweight division.
Yeah, that's very true. Unify belts, then move up to 135 for the bigger paydays. That's very realistic.
That's not true. Don't listen. I keep my fighters completely in line. Yeah, I hear you, Bob. And the fact that we're having a debate in my head with these crazy voices makes me feel even crazier at this moment. I think this is an upset. I think this is like the night we went out. I think this is literally, wow. I think this is one of those, wow, bro. You never saw this shit coming.
All right.
Well, for me, it's way out on a limb, but
yeah.
You know.
Well, just look at those goddamn odds. I think for the damn bookies,
minus
800. Jesus Christ! What the fuck is the respect for Valdez? Good lord.
Yeah, minus 750 plus 450 on Bovada. Wow.
God damn.
Wow.
That must not be giving that motherfucker a chance. What do they not know who the hell Valdez is? For fuck's sake, did I see what he did to Burchell?
I'm thinking Valdez. I'm all in. God. Push all in. Yeah. Shit, you'll get probably in Vegas on the night of the fight 6 or 7 to 1. Andrew loves a long shot. You gonna take 7 to 1 on Valdez, Andrew?
I think he left us.
That's fine. That's fine. Wouldn't you?
What did I leave you guys? No.
7 to 1?
No, yeah. Oh fuck yeah, dude. Shit. A couple $100? Shit, why not?
Oh my god. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah. You best believe it, son.
That's hookers and steaks at the end of the night.
Yes, exactly.
Holy shit.
That's how you end up tonight. Shit.
Go check out boxingtonight.io. I can't believe Andrew leaves in the middle of the show now. It's hilarious. I apologize for the audio. I'll be back in the studio next week. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the fights. Put your comments down below. Comment on social media. Hit at FightFiendMigs up. Hit at Lee Honish up. Hit Andrew Labouche up. We want to hear from you. And, of course, at fight.net.radio. We will see you guys after a big weekend of fighting.